maybe one of these days I can actually get one of these videos recorded, right? So, yeah. I'm going to talk about the SNES Classic a little bit. So, a couple days ago, wasn't sure about funds and stuff like that, so I ended up canceling my pre-order. And there's a part of me that was kind of like really looking forward to it, but I felt like, you know what, I have a really nice PC at home. It can emulate all these games pretty well. I definitely see flaws in it now that I didn't see before, like scaling flaws and stuff like that. But at the time I was like, phone does it well, this does it well, everything's okay. Let's just get on with it, you know? And so when I canceled it, after about an hour and a half, 2 hours, it really started to eat at me. And it continued to do so until launch day. So later that evening, I'm in Walmart doing shopping and stuff like that. You know, we're getting food and things like that. And I'm near the electronics section. I just happened to ask the guy, I'm like, so did you guys get any of those classics in? Because they're like hours away from launch, right? And he's like, yeah, we got 26. And I'm like, 26? Wow. I'm like, when are you guys gonna release that? And he's like, oh, at midnight. He's like, if you're interested, you better come at the launch because we're not gonna have any by tomorrow. Like, we've been getting calls all day. And so I was like, okay, screw it. So as time went on, I started thinking about the Super Nintendo and stuff like that. And it reminded me of some memories, like when I first got the thing. And so when I first got the Super Nintendo, I was a little bit later than everybody else. It was July 23rd of 1993. And to give you guys some ideas and context of what was going on at that time, I was pretty much the only person with a Super Nintendo in my town. I lived in a town in Ohio where football was a very big thing, and the Sega Genesis was a big seller because it was kind of seen as a sports system. It was also a bit cheaper than the Super Nintendo. You know, it was kind of considered like weird that I got a Super Nintendo in the first place, or would want a Super Nintendo, but I held out. I had an original Nintendo, and I just played my games on there. So my birthday comes up, my brother just happened to get a job, his first job at that time. He's like, I'm gonna buy you a Super Nintendo for your birthday. And I was kind of like, really? Cool. So he found a sale in a magazine for a place called Big Bear. It was a general store or generalized, department store that was still around before Walmart ate everything up. And so we went there, and some of you guys may remember, you know, the Super Nintendo typically came with Super Mario World, hence this guy right here, and a Super Nintendo with 2 controllers and all the hookups. They also had one that was a slightly cheaper version called the Control Deck. That was a Super Nintendo, like the basic RF hookup and a controller. So my brother had seen that they had this thing like way cheaper than it normally was. I think it was like 110, 120, something like that for the Control Deck. And we had figured out what some of the games that were on sale. We could get that in a game and it'd be a lot cheaper than getting the main Super Nintendo. So we took off, and I remember reading GamePro magazine on the way because I was just so hyped to get the Super Nintendo that I was even reading in the bottom of like one of the GamePros. They had like a hand-drawn picture of this like CD-ROM attachment that was supposed to go on the bottom. There's fact. On the bottom there's this extended port, is what they call it. And it would have plugged into there, and then it had 2 screw-in hookups similar to like a Game Boy player on the GameCube. So it never came out, but that's what I remember reading. I was also reading it because they had reviews and stuff on new games that were coming out that I was excited for, and I was really looking forward to it. So me, my mom, my brother show up at the store. And I remember me and my brother got in a little bit of a tiff over the game to get, because my brother was a Star Wars person, and he really wanted to get Super Star Wars. So what had come out at that time was that, or what I found out at that time, was my brother was buying the Super Nintendo for my birthday. My mom was buying the game. And since it was my birthday, my mom put her foot down and said, no, it's his birthday. He gets to choose a game. You get to choose one on your birthday. She did like the typical mom thing, right? So we went home to Star Fox. And my brother was kind of like pouty about it. But, you know, it is what it is. So I think he even threatened not to get the Super Nintendo. And I think she kind of put a boot up his butt about that. Like he had already said he was going to. So we get home, and I remember, by the way, before we went home, we went to go eat lunch, and I typically get this big cookie at a place, and the cookie is just, you know, massive, so that's what I would get instead of a cake. And I remember the whole time getting it, I'm like, I really want the cookie, but I also really want to go home and play this already, you know? So we get home, plug it in, I play it. I'm completely blown away by the graphics. What drew me in was the commercial, honestly. The commercial was just like so flashy and stuff and looked so cool. And I'd never seen anything like it, honestly. That was like the first time I've seen a 3D game like that on a console or anything. We didn't have a computer powerful enough to do anything like that at the house. And so I played for like a couple hours, and I finally get done. I go downstairs to go get a slice of cookie, as strange as that sounds. And my brother sneaks his way upstairs and goes plays it. He's up there for about 45 minutes to an hour. He comes down, and he just finally says, that is the coolest flight game I've ever played in my entire life. It looks so neat. Hey guys, what's up? So I got here about an hour early, and there's a little bit of a line, but it's not too bad. I'm kind of wondering if it's going to be the same story or a place else. So we get there at around 10:30, okay, and the line is, you know, already formed. They got like this gate thing going on, and there's about 11 people, I think, in line. And Walmart was really cool. First of all, Walmart was only selling one per person, regardless. And I think I only saw like one guy that was kind of there looking like a scalper. Everybody else was like actually sitting around playing like their Nintendo Switches. Some were on their phone, but everybody was like talking about like the Super Nintendo, what they were looking forward to playing. And so, and Walmart was awesome. Like Walmart actually let us go to the chair. Like they had like a rack like across the aisle from us that had foldable chairs, and they were just like, you guys are going to be here for an hour and a half, just grab a chair, sit down, and when we're getting ready, you guys go put it back, and we'll do this thing. So within the hour and a half that I was there, the line had grown quite a bit. It was like, hey guys, it's about 3-4 minutes, it's filled up. I think we actually have a full line, so there's supposed to be 26 here, and it's going pretty far back to, that's the first guy up in line there. So, okay, line's moving there, over there. So it looks like they said they got 26. So, yeah, see him, see him, see him. Everybody's pretty excited in line. You guys staying up and playing it tonight?
Probably.
Yeah.
Till our eyes bleed.
Till your eyes bleed?
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, guys, here we go. Now.
$85.64. Jeez. Can't understand why all these sales are the same thing. No, thank you, Joe.
Alright, let's go home and play. Yeah. Unfortunately, I need light bulbs first. And so, I ended up walking out with a Super Nintendo. I was pretty happy about that. So here it is, guys. Actually, that's the wrong end. But there it is, a little glossy. But, yeah, I was really happy to get this. Like, I felt like I did the right thing, and, you know, like all these memories, it was, really irking me that I let go of it, and it was kind of a stupid thing. I should have just, you know, held on to my pre-order, but, I've been playing this thing all weekend. I haven't been streaming because of that, to be honest with you guys. I wish I had a better excuse, but I don't have a capture card for it, and I thought a couple times, I think tonight what I might actually do is just charge the phone, sit down and do like basically a guerrilla style phone stream tonight. It'd be kind of strange, but we'll give it a shot. We'll see how that goes. But this guy is so much fun. One thing that was apparent to me when I plugged it in, the image looks way better than most emulators I've used. I haven't been able to put my finger on it because it only outputs in 720p. But I watched Digital Foundry's video this morning, and they talk about how they use like very slight interpolation, and 720 is a perfect scale from the original 320 by 240. So that's possibly it. But the output is really good. The latency is really low. I did some tests on my own with like with the camera on slow motion, which is, I think it shoots at 240 frames per second. And I checked the latency on it, and the latency is really low. It's as low as it is on the original Super Nintendo. I actually did check those two out. It'd be hard to put it in the video because of the way that the file that it records in, but just trust me, the latency is pretty good on it. It's pretty much the size of a Super Nintendo game. So what could they do now? What could they do for the classics? Well, they're going to be re-releasing the NES next year. And then I'm kind of curious if they do anything for the holiday season, or if they just carry that into the holiday season. I think that'll probably end up being my birthday present. I'm going to be asking for one of those for that. I'll just be like, yo, can I just have a gift card for like Walmart or something? Just go stand in line there. But so far, like, the game's been cool. Star Fox 2 is actually really cool, and I really honestly feel there's parts that are a little bit boring, and some people were writing some of the reviews about that. But for the most part, my feeling about Star Fox 2 has so far been there are gameplay mechanics in that outstrip Star Fox 64, and I gotta kind of wonder if maybe that's why it got canceled. Because if they were working on Star Fox 64 and it was on rails, and this is not Star Fox. This is a very different Star Fox. It's not open world, but what they call open range. So it's like a certain size map that you can fly across. When you're, there's like a lot of firefights. What is it? Dog fights in it. That, it's in an open area. Like, they can go behind you and you can go in front of you. It's not that. Once it's behind you, you're safe. It's not that. The other thing is too, is there's elements on the map where you have missiles, fighters, other things going on, and you have to figure out your strategy because you can only let Corneria get hit so often. And so you can either like let the planetary defense take care of it, or think that, or you can go take care of it yourself, but then that'll delay you on taking over this planet over here, something like that. So it's a very different game, but I really do believe, besides some of the slower parts of it, it's a really good game too. There's more to it than just the walkers and stuff like that people have been talking about. It's actually strange. Like, the first time you play it, it'll go by really quick, and then you play it like a second or third time, and it like randomizes the game a little bit, and it makes it a little bit harder. It's kind of interesting. There's a lot of other reasons to get the thing. Obviously, for Contra is one. I've been playing Contra all morning. Been playing some Street Fighter. Also been playing some F-Zero. F-Zero is a ton of fun still. I really like it. It's a little bit frustrating. It's like a little bit touchy on the D-pad, but it's like good. It's like challenging. Frustrating is what I think. So, yeah. If you have any kind of nostalgia for this, if you're curious, and the thing is like, there's already hacks for this out there. You can actually stick other games on it, from what I understand, or that update should be coming soon to Hack-Chi. So, and it sounds like Nintendo was like, screw it, if they hack it. Apparently, I haven't seen it yet, but if you hook this up to Hack-Chi, like, Nintendo actually like left a message for everybody in the code, similar to like the way that Microsoft leaves like a little Master Chief like inside the Xbox if you crack it open. Okay guys, so that's going to be it for this. If you have any interest in this, it's a good product. Go ahead and pick it up. There's not much else I can say about it. All the little details, to even like the HDMI cable having like the Nintendo logo on it, is really cool. There are some differences. Like, I can tell you, like, the controller to the original Super Nintendo controller is a little bit different. Like, the Y and X buttons are slightly deeper. Like, the concave and convex is a little bit more pronounced. The back of the controller is a bit different. The L and R buttons it's like actually part of the plastic mold now. It's not printed on like it was on the old controller. But all in all, it's a great device. So if there's any of these games that you want to play again, you want to play for the first time, it's not going to let you down. I can't speak to how it would look on a 4K TV saying the output's 720, but most of these games you don't need an output any higher anyways. Actually, all these games you don't need an output any higher than 720. It looks perfectly fine and it's playable. And all the little borders and all the little effects that they do are top notch. It looks really good. So yeah, definitely a big thumbs up. I'm really happy I got it. I'm really happy I waited in line for it too. Like, that was an experience in itself. Meeting all those people, talking to them about their Super Nintendo experiences and stuff. That was really, really cool. So, and definitely worth it. So, anyways, if you guys see one, you want it, go ahead and pick it up. $80, it's definitely worth it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And tomorrow at or every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can join me and Brian, Bad Seed Tech, as we do another trial run, and I'll probably be talking a little bit about this. So anyways, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you later.